in this captivating video. We are eager to present to you a precise curated compilation of the top 10 most stunning action movies set to deliver in 2023. These remarkable cinematic masterpieces are ensured to send a great chill down your spine. As we explore this carefully selected list, we aim to provide you with clear explanations. Please stay with us, watch the full video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get the latest and best movies news must be watched. Number 1. Sisu. In late 1944, during the last days of World War II, a retired commando and prospector Atami Korpi lives alone with only his horse and his faithful dog in the remote wilderness of Lapland. Atami spends his days panning and mining in search of gold. When Atami uncovers a rich gold deposit, he collects a hefty amount of nuggets and mounts his horse, heading for the nearest town to deposit it at the bank. When he comes across the first group of Nazi troops charged by Bruno Heldorf, they let him pass. But again, Atami unfortunately accosted by a second group of soldiers who discover his saddlebags full of gold and prepare to execute him and his dog. Quickly realizes they have picked the wrong man to mess with. Despite his efficiency, Atami eliminates every single one of them. Alerted by the gunfire, Bruno investigates and discovers the carnage when he finds one of Atami's gold nuggets taken by one of the dying soldiers. Bruno and his tank chase Atami to the edge of a minefield. No matter what the Nazis throw at him, the one-man death squad will go to outrageous lengths to get his gold back, even if it means killing every last Nazi in his path. Sisu is a 2022 historical action thriller film written and directed by Jalmari Helander.
You'll see what happens when you take everything from him.
You really believe that he's immortal?
No, he just refuses to die.
We might have a problem.
Number 2. Extraction 2. In the first Extraction, Tyler Rake is the gun-for-hire tasked with extracting Ovi Mahajan. Ovi is the son of incarcerated Indian drug lord Ovi Mahajan, who has been kidnapped by corrupt police officers working for rival Bangladeshi drug lord Amir Asif. But this time Tyler Rake retires from mercenary work to a cabin in Austria to recuperate. Nick asks Tyler to focus on rebuilding his life, but he is approached by a stranger man and asked to rescue Kedavin, the sister of his ex-wife Mia, and her 2 children from Georgia. Tasked with extracting a family who is at the mercy of a Georgian gangster, Tyler Rake infiltrates one of the world's deadliest prisons in order to save them. But when the extraction gets hot, and the gangster dies in the heat of battle, his equally ruthless brother tracks down Rake and his team to Sydney in order to get revenge. Extraction is exactly the kind of movie you'd expect someone to make after scaling blockbuster Everest multiple times over, and Extraction 2 is the continuation and distillation of that creative pursuit.
I'm getting you out of here, okay?
Number 3. Silent Night. On Christmas Eve, a man witnesses the death of his young son when the boy gets caught in crossfire between warring gangs. While recovering from a wound that costs him his voice, he makes vengeance his life's mission and embarks on a punishing training regimen in order to avenge his son's death. Full of Wu's signature style, Silent Night redefines the action genre with visceral, thrill-a-minute storytelling. According to Deadline, an entertainment magazine, the movie does not have dialogues. The director hasn't made an American movie since 2003's Paycheck, so it remains to be seen if Silent Night can recapture his legendary status. The Silent Night trailer seems to suggest that the master of action, and claiming the movie will leave you speechless. From legendary director and the producer of John Wick comes this gritty revenge. Silent Night is an upcoming American action thriller film directed by John Woo and written by Robert Archer Lynn. The film stars Joel Kinnaman, Scott Mescudi, Harold Torres, Number 4. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. When the U.S. Army withdrew from Afghanistan in 2021, it abandoned hundreds of Afghan interpreters who had risked their lives working against the Taliban. Instead of getting visas to relocate to the U.S., as they had been promised, at least 300 interpreters were killed by Taliban forces. This grim framework might not seem the most obvious inspiration for a Guy Ritchie film. Set in 2018 during the war in Afghanistan, U.S. Army Sergeant John Kinley and his team are conducting vehicle checks. As the team's interpreter is examining a truck, an improvised explosive device is set off, resulting in his death. During the war in Afghanistan, Master Sergeant John Kinley loses his interpreter in an operation on the road. He selects the interpreter Acclaimed to be the replacement and join his team. Soon Acclaimed shows that he is loyal and efficient in his work. When Sergeant Kinley and his team are assigned to destroy the Taliban's explosives 120 kilometers far from their base, they succeed in their mission, but only Sergeant Kinley and Acclaimed survive the Taliban's attack. Now they need to cross woods and mountains to return to the American base. Sergeant Kinley is seriously wounded and Acclaimed risks his own life to bring him to the American base. The Covenant is a 2023 American action drama film co-written, produced, and directed by Guy Ritchie.
John, you have tallies approaching.
Number 5. The Equalizer 3. Since giving up his life as a government assassin, Robert McCall has struggled to reconcile the horrific things he's done in the past and finds a strange solace in serving justice on behalf of the oppressed. Finding himself surprisingly at home in southern Italy, he discovers his new friends are under the control of local crime bosses. Robert McCall is back, older and wiser and much more brutal than ever. He is left fighting for his life after injuries sustained in an attack on a mafia compound in southern Italy. He is found bleeding out by a local police officer and taken to the local doctor in the nearest village to be fixed up. Once McCall is nursed back to full fitness by the man named Enzo, he appears to settle in southern Italy. A threat to his newfound peace is the mafia, who brutally run the show in the area. McCall must fight against these dark forces if he is to keep hold of his tranquil new life and save the locals from impending doom. The Equalizer 3 is a 2023 American vigilante action thriller film directed by Antoine Fuqua. It is a sequel to The Equalizer 2 and the third and final installment of the Equalizer trilogy.
9 seconds. That's what I'll give you to decide. 9 seconds.
Number 6. Retribution. While driving his kids to school, Matt receives a call from an unknown number with a distorted voice who says that there is a bomb under his seat, which is already armed when Matt sits on it. The bomb is triggered by both pressure plates placed on all the seats and a radio frequency. When Matt finds the device, he is forced to follow the bomber's instructions in order to keep his children alive. The caller rings again, and this time, he states that aside from leaving the car, any other effort to ask for outside help or call the authorities will result in him remotely detonating the bomb. Liam Neeson stars in Retribution, an immersive ticking clock thriller that straps audiences in for a high-octane ride of redemption and revenge. When a mysterious caller puts a bomb under his car seat, he begins a high-speed chase across the city to complete a specific series of tasks. Retribution is a 2023 action thriller film directed by Nimrod Antal and written by Chris Salmanpour. The film stars Liam Neeson, Noma Dumezweni, and Lily Aspel, an international co-production movie released August 23, 2023 by Studio Canal.
Honey, something's happened. There's a man who has put a bomb in the car. We can't get out. The car will explode.
Number 7. John Wick Chapter 4. The film starts in New York City, where John Wick and his pit bull have taken refuge with the Bowery King. John is punching a board until his knuckles bleed, and BK comes in to ask him if he is ready to go after the high table. John simply says yes. While the fourth installment of the John Wick franchise excels in its action and visuals, the movie loses its finality with thinly veiled attempts to set up potential future spin-offs. Wick continues his struggle against the leader of the High Table, the Marquis de Graymont, which he is the ultimate authority in the criminal world, with the price on his head ever increasing. Legendary hitman John Wick takes his fight global as he seeks out the most powerful players in the underworld, from New York to Paris to Japan to Berlin. He finds himself on the run, hunted by a legion of highly skilled assassins after being excommunicated from the secret society known as the High Table. As he fights for his survival, John discovers shocking secrets that could unravel the very foundation of the assassin world.
Saying goodbyes?
Saying hello.
You think your wife can hear you?
No.
And why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
You're going to die.
Maybe not.
Number 8. Plane. Plane is a 2023 American action thriller film directed by Jean-Francois Ritchie. The film stars Gerard Butler, Mike Colter, Yosanen, and Tony Goldwyn. The movie's about a commercial pilot Brody Torrance flies Trailblazer Airlines with 14 passengers and 3 cabin crew members from Singapore to Honolulu finds himself caught in a war zone after he's forced to land on what turns out to be Holo Island in the Philippines. During a terrible storm, no one knows where they are, not even Captain Brody. All the electronics on the plane are temporarily fried. Cell phones don't work. Brody believes they are in a dangerous part of the Philippines though, and so do the officials at Trailblazer Airlines who are monitoring the situation. Brody Torrance saves his passengers from a lightning strike by making a risky landing on a war-torn island only to find that surviving the landing was just the beginning. When most of the passengers are taken hostage by dangerous rebels, the only person Torrance can count on for help is Louis Gaspar, an accused murderer who was being transported by the FBI. In order to rescue the passengers, Torrance will need Gaspar's help and will learn there's more to Gaspar than meets the eye.
This is an emergency. I'm Captain Brody Torrance.
I like this guy.
Number 9. Heart of Stone. A globetrotting new spy thriller, Heart of Stone is a full-throated attempt to kickstart a new action franchise. In the Italian Alps, an MI6 team is tasked with extracting potential asset and arms dealer, Mulvaney. Stone is just a tech assist, but this mission forces her into the field when she needs to hack a phone to let Parker and Young deeper into the complex. However, when things go to pot, we discover that Stone is no lowly tech analyst and is not just playing for MI6. She works for Charter, a clandestine spy organization that works above national borders. To maintain her cover while in the casino, Stone plays one hand of blackjack, then apparently disappearing. Field agents Parker and Young are given access to the restricted gambling area. They find that people are betting on the body count of an actual combat between US Navy SEALs and some terrorists. Someone has found a way to hack into military-grade encryption. Their plan to inject Mulvaney to fake a heart attack is thwarted by his bodyguard. However, Parker is able to isolate and take him on a cable car. Their communications are infiltrated by Kia Delwyn, who reveals that she knew that the MI6 were coming. Heart of Stone is a Netflix's second big action blockbuster 2023 American spy action thriller film, starring Gal Gadot and directed by Tom Harper.
The most highly trained agents.
It's a bigger operation.
No political leanings. No national allegiances. Working together to keep peace in a turbulent world.
Number 10. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. In Dead Reckoning Part 1, Ethan Hunt and his IMF team embark on their most dangerous mission yet, to track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all of humanity before it falls into the wrong hands. Ethan Hunt is tasked with locating a formidable weapon that poses a grave danger to mankind. The stakes are high, as the destiny of the world and its future hang in the balance. Ethan is compelled to contemplate that the mission holds greatest importance, exceptional even the lives of his dearest, when faced with an enigmatic and almighty enemy. We see Ethan try to find to stop the entity. The entity is an advanced, self-aware rogue AI capable of penetrating cybersecurity and predict probable futures. Governments around the world compete to control it, searching for 2 connected keys, while the IMF also searches for the keys, aiming to destroy the entity to prevent further damage. The Mission Impossible movies have always prioritized suspense, intrigue, and action ahead of telling stories that make all that much sense. But Dead Reckoning spends so much time trying to clearly explain things like what the entity is and how it's unlike anything Ethan.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you.
His fate is written. Shall we write yours too?
If anything happens to them, there's no place that I won't go to kill you. That is written.
Hope you enjoy the video. Ensure that you subscribe the channel to receive the most recent updates and new movies.